everybody. I think it's about time. Oh, Joseph, did you already turn it off?
I did.
Are you like a magic man? Okay, so
I did.
Oh, wow.
Maybe.
I'm impressed. Okay. All right. I'm not going to worry about a microphone. I think I'm loud enough. Although, if anybody's hard of hearing, please let me know. I don't want to be like a jerk. Okay? I'll just use it. It's fine. Okay. Anyway, hello everybody.
Hi.
Hi,
Woo! All right. I am your very flustered MC. It's okay. I made it. All right. So, if you've never been here before, this is Helicon West. Yay. We are an uncensored place that brings together published writers with community writers to foster an enjoyment of art and writing and to support each other and basically be awesome. As I said, we are uncensored. That is for now. Who knows what will happen next legislative session? We don't know. But for now, we're safe. All right. So, I want to thank the Logan Library.
Yay, library.
I want to thank Cafe Ibis. They've been on-time supporters too. And of course, our Colbert, our patron saint of awesomeness. And finally, I want to thank all of you. The one thing we have to do before we start is our land acknowledgement. So we acknowledge that this awesome event takes place on the ancestral land of the Western Shoshone Nation. And that's awesome, because they're still around and doing awesome things. And we think that's cool, and if you don't like it, take your face. Okay. Anyway, probably shouldn't say take your face. But anyway, I did. So there you go. Okay, so we have at the moment 10 people signed up. The person who signed up at 15, you might go at 10. Okay, anyway. If you want to sign up while people are reading, go ahead and do that. Because the sign-up sheet will be near me or something, so if that's not too awkward, sign up. Or you can shout your name from up here at some point. Okay, anyway, taking forever. Okay, so as you may or may not know, you all are the featured readers for summer because it's all open mic.
Yay!
So yay you! So applaud yourself if you're here. Yay! Yay! Okay. Man, you guys do not love yourselves, and that's not cool. All right, there you go. Come on now. You're our featured readers, and that's amazing. Okay, so I will announce you 3 at a time. Remember your order. If you forget, let me know. It's fine. Okay, here we go. We're going to start with Nathan, and I cannot read the last name because I'm blind as hell. Sorry.
That's okay. It's probably my handwriting.
I'm also blind, so it's a perfect storm of cool. Okay, so we're going to go with Nathan, then Randall Jensen, and then me.
All right.
All right, thanks, guys. I'm going to read just a snippet from a book that I self-published through Amazon. It contains some short stories, and this is one of them. I'll try to get through the whole thing. If I hit 7 minutes, just yell at me.
Okay. Will do.
We'll clap you off. That's the way we do it.
Yeah, we're a little more polite.
Okay. Her child was born on a day like any other. Spring air poured into the room through an open window, but its sweet scent couldn't sweep out the ominous air which clung to the soon-to-be mother. Finally, she would know the truth behind the doctor's horrific predictions. She played out all of the scenarios they had described in her mind, preparing herself for what was soon to come. It didn't matter that she was scared. Her child would come regardless. The baby cried as any would, but in this case, an infant's tears had never seemed so justified. Blood and afterbirth were left unwashed, slightly obscuring the child's deformities. Mother, father, and even the doctor couldn't help but weep along with him. Together, they all mourned his life to come. The infant's face consisted primarily of one huge eye, which was centered under a single eyebrow. This eyebrow faintly thinned before connecting to his full head of hair. In the place of the nose lay his bottom eyelid, which had 2 slits for nostrils at its lowest. more still lay the child's mouth. It was an average mouth, his only claim to humanity from the neck up. But it was his eye which dominated his face, cloudy and gray, searching and blinking, yet ironically, completely blind. Without vision and lacking ears to hear, he was destined to grow up in darkness without the ability to communicate. His parents never considered sending him to school. What would be the point? He could not learn nor socialize effectively. Besides, it was dangerous for him to leave the house. Instead, they kept him at home, hiding his fragile head from the world. Around the time of puberty, he began to better perceive the world around him. He would hide his face from the sight of strangers at the grocery store and dodge bugs who would have otherwise flown into his eye at the park. Since he was still blind, his parents wrote it off as intuition. But by the time he turned 18, he seemed almost as capable as any other. Still, his growing abilities remained unacknowledged by his parents. But why didn't they notice? Because he made it so. Along with improved perception of the world around him, he gained an ever-improving ability to communicate. Not communication in the traditional sense. If he wanted, his parents simply understood and fulfilled his desires. In time, he not only realized that he could sense and sway his parents' thoughts, but he could often overtake them. Year after year, his parents' minds were consumed by their child until they had no thoughts of their own. They became nothing but shells, gloves to be slipped into and manipulated when needed, seeing eyes for an otherwise blind man. Their former selves long forgotten, some might say that he had murdered them. In his 20s, he had become a celebrity for his looks and telepathic abilities. He, along with his parents, were known across the world. Theories spread about him having alien origins, demonic heritage, or that he was a government experiment gone wrong. He became ever more reclusive as the years passed, warded by mankind's appetite. He had cultivated a moral code to live by, which was contrary to most human nature. So, rather than dealing with differences, he often overtook the minds of those he encountered, turning them into another extension of himself. As he aged, those he encountered fell under his spell ever more quickly. By the age of 50, the man had become a country to himself. The entire United States lay prison to his will. At this age, his talents developed much further, even granting him telekinetic abilities. Those under his will became a massive network of antennae, allowing him the ability to be everywhere and control everything at once. He had even learned to vibrate particles in the air fast enough to cause them to combust into flame, and was known for setting people on fire for sheer fun. Other countries feared him, so he was surprised to receive correspondence from the United Nations. Why would they invite him to a summit? His father's eyes read the invitation to him repeatedly. All the world's leaders would be there, and he would be able to take over the world if he wanted, and they would know it. He wasn't certain what he wanted anymore, or if he wanted anything at all. His desires had long since succumbed to boredom, until now. The mystery burrowed in his mind, consuming him with intrigue. What could they want? He decided to go. The meeting place was smaller than he had imagined. His aged parents scanned the dull-colored room. Many concerned-faced leaders sat at a table, eager to begin the discussion. "You don't have to be afraid," Mother said monotonously. "I sense your anxiety. You invited us. Now be at ease and tell us why." A man stood and introduced himself. "I am Kim Lee. I represent the people of China. We are here to ask you for help." "No need for introductions. What do you need help with?" the elderly father replied. "Demons have come for us. We don't know how to defend ourselves. We've heard reports that you eradicated the problem in your nation," Kim Lee explained. "Demons?" the mother questioned. "You must be speaking of those who cannot be seen by sight." "Yes, we notice there are many of them on these lands." "So you can see them?" asked Kim. The other leaders fidgeted and chattered like children. "I can feel them," The father replied, "From what we gather, they are similar to tigers. They hunt with 4 legs, teeth, claws, and an insatiable hunger." "You've captured one," father declared. Gimli looked around the room uncomfortably. The confused looks of his peers confirmed his fear. No one had revealed the truth. The Cyclops had already prized into the deepest secrets of their minds. "Don't fear, I have enough already," the mother said. "I needed to fret with your thoughts to find out about your captured demon anyway. I can follow the strands which bind the demon to this world just as I see yours. Your beast's strands come from heaven, and knot together just behind that wall." The father raised his finger, pointing toward the cement wall behind the gathering. How amusing it was for the Cyclops to see these beings struggle with such a trivial issue. He pondered the value of their lives. They were the leaders of the most powerful nations of the world, yet were unable to preserve themselves, much less their nations, from such a menial enemy. Trinkets, he thought to himself. These men are mere trinkets.
I apologize, Ron. I should have known it was you. Sorry. Hi, Ron.
Hi, Ron.
We are 65 years ago, the parents had just met, and the day I'll never forget. And 14 years ago, I went to the gate, and I felt and had to leave the neighborhood. Now they're back together, in the next life. See, happy forever, that's husband and wife. And we'll go, I want to go home. I want to go home, is what she said. Well, she right here, house so bad. You can't leave house, you must stay here. Not well enough to leave her there. I want to go home, and so she did. Not in this world, but heaven instead.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you both. That was cool. That story didn't end where I thought it was. That was pretty cool. Okay, so I got a couple of things for you, for the heck of it, I suppose. I have no idea what the title of this was supposed to be because it was printed without one, so I don't know. My dad searched for God when I was little, dressed me up, took me to a new church each Sunday. Some had large, bright windows. One had dark wood pews under hot white fluorescent light. My eyes watered at each one. I understood God. He was always out of town, too busy to call, a divorced dad who left me waiting, not showing up on his weekend. Every adult told me he loved me, my mother, my teachers. God was out there somewhere. When I was 5, I sat in a hard pew, blonde wood darkening my red dress, blending with the white apron. My throat was full of Brillo pads. My eyes watered. Mother handed me a huge cherry cough drop. I would hold it, bulging my cheek until the medicine taste tickled. I'd have to spit it out, leave a new pink polka dot on my apron. I am a cherry cough drop. Sour, too much for my father. He stopped trying, spit me out. And this is called grandfather clock. I want a house full of tick, 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 tick. Time meted out in soft seconds. I want a chime to take me to the bottom of every hour. I want each hour's beginning to bong. I want the peace, warm evening sunlight, the calm of knowing exactly the time. I want to feel the absence of worry. Thank you. And okay, so then we have Woody, Jan, and Star, and I'm pretty confident I got those right.
Hi, Woody.
Hi, Woody.
So I've been working on a couple different stories this summer. I've got 2 that I've sent out for publication. This one is going to be just like the first page or 2 of the first one. often look to trees for comfort. A mystical sense of connection fills me when I look up at them. My tiny body pales in comparison. That something can exist in the same place for so long, unmovable, gargantuan, primordial, grounds me and gives me hope. Logan, Utah is home to countless ancient trees: crabapple, cherry, box elder, multiple kinds of maple, elm, spruce, aspen, ash, all of them live here. I'm home when I stand in their shadows. Even as more and more apartment complexes and pointless roundabouts appear, the trees stand tall. They persevere, gently swaying in the wind. As humans expand, covering every inch of the world, they watch on, unflinching. My favorite hike out of all the unbelievable scenery in Cache Valley is the Jardine Juniper Trail. I hiked it in high school, in college, and I still go up with my wife. It follows a small river which appears and disappears with the seasons. The path immerses you in seas of birch, pine, and more. It continues almost 6 miles up the mountains, increasing in elevation by roughly 1,870 feet along the way. As the trail's name implies, at its end, one will find a long-lived juniper tree waiting to greet any hiker staunch enough to brave the journey. I've heard rumors that the juniper has lived for nearly 3,000 years, but I looked into it once, and apparently core samples taken in the 1950s placed it closer to 1,500 years old at that time. Jardine juniper has lived 6 times longer than the history of the United States, and humans still feel the need to embellish around its story. When my wife and I hike that trail, we typically stop and turn around at the same place each time. About 2 miles up, a huge bridge crosses the stream at one of its steepest points. Trees line this area too, likely following the water's path down the mountain to survive. Standing on the bridge and looking down brings me such clarity. The sound of the stream, the wind in the trees, our lungs catching their breath, with cool air from the precious shade, exquisite. I've started the trail more times than I can count and spent enough time there to recall its first stretches from memory, but I've never once made it to the top. Never actually seen the juniper from which the trail gets its name. I'm not sure why. Perhaps I'm afraid he won't live up to expectations. Perhaps I fear someone will have hurt or defiled him. With the state of the world right now, can we afford to lose one more good thing? I didn't always live in northern Utah. From 5 to 13, I lived in Alabama, a state known for its dense forest and wide variety of flora and fauna, among other less admirable things. Historically, the location of my upbringing elicits a notable shift in the listener's expression. Sympathy beats disgust every time, but even at the age of 30, I'm not sure if the change is real or imagined, a projection of my subconscious guilt. The inherent privilege enjoyed by a white man in a place like that warps your mind. Living there, I learned prejudice is only removable after years of constant effort. One encoded belief I failed to fully purge states that all elders inherently deserve respect from their juniors. Disrespecting our elders simultaneously disrespects their history and all the things they might have done to provide for our existence. While obviously untrue, something in me can't shake this rule, this guiding principle. Rather than allow this logical fallacy to thrive, I've managed to mutate it somewhat. I've chosen to place my reverence for the elderly onto trees. They've lived for hundreds of years, yet most people regard them as no more than seasonal decoration. The hypocrisy of this fills me with disgust. My family lived in 4 different houses during our time in Tuscaloosa, moving around for reasons I didn't understand as a child and haven't dared to or cared to ask since becoming an adult. One of those houses, the one in which my father finally filed for divorce, or my mother finally filed for divorce, sat in the middle of 3 acres of woodland at the top of a steep hill. The forest completely concealed the home itself from all roads and other properties. You'd need to trespass through the trees on our land for several minutes before our house even came into view. Down one side of the hill, through the dense brush, a chapel by the name of St. Paul's African Methodist Episcopal held weekly services. The old white wooden building stood at the end of a small asphalt parking lot located on the corner. A thick expanse of forest sprouted from its backyard. I understood that the church only accepted black people, but I always wondered why. I never so much as entered the parking lot, but I'd often hear them singing and lifting their praises on Sunday morning and wondered. Down the other side of the hill, shadowed by primeval pine trees, stood a trailer park. I don't remember its name, but that place only accepted white people. There wasn't an official rule or anything, but everyone just knew. My mother made it crystal clear never to go there either. In that case, I didn't wonder. I knew why. Bad people with shaved heads and tattoos lived there. I'd often hear motorcycles revving, bottles breaking, and the occasional gunshot well into the early morning hours. Whenever I think about living in Alabama, I think about being stuck between those 2 eternally estranged places and being forbidden from both.
Yeah. Hi, Jan.
Hi, Jen.
My piece is called The Facts of Life. When I was around 6 and first curious about where babies come from, I naturally asked my older brother and sister. They, of course, deferred me to my mother. When I asked her, she, after gauging my young age, only told me what she thought would be appropriate. She said, when a mother and father love each other very much, God blesses them with a baby. Okay, we weren't a very religious family, but that was good enough for me. I certainly wasn't curious on the hows and whys of that, nor the obvious puzzle about how that baby gets out of the mother. My curiosity was satisfied, and I went on with my busy little life. Being the youngest in the family, I physically wasn't around any babies being born, nor did I know many pregnant women. I remember that my second grade teacher got pregnant, but then she left, and we had a substitute, and that was that. Interestingly enough, the subject did not enter my mind again. My parents never sat me down for the talk, and movies and television in those days were strictly G-rated. Lucy and Ricky didn't even sleep in the same bed. I was much more interested in playing sports and running with the boys and climbing trees and that sort of stuff. One day, when I was 11, I noticed a reddish-brown stain in my underwear. What the heck was that? I actually thought I was dying from the inside out. I surreptitiously washed out my underwear and carried on. The next time I changed clothes, I noticed the stain again, only this time it was darker and thicker. Seriously, what was going on? I continued to wash out my underwear and checked again every few hours, only to repeat the process. This lasted a few days, and I was getting low on underwear. My mother must have noticed something and shoved a box of sanitary napkins in my hands. I didn't know what this meant. Years earlier, I had seen a box of sanitary napkins on the stairs in our home. We often would put things on the bottom of the stairs to be taken up by the next person going that way. I questioned why we were sending napkins up the stairs. Didn't they belong in the kitchen? My mother merely muttered something and then scrambled up the steps with the napkins. Anyway, with the box of mystery napkins in my hands, I asked, what am I supposed to do with these? I believe she told me to go ask my sister. My sister was minimally helpful, only telling me how to put on the sanitary napkin belt, which must have come in the box, no self-sticking pads in those days, and how to hook the napkin on each end. That was it. So I began wearing those terribly uncomfortable sanitary napkins and belt every day. No one said anything about when that stain stopped, that you would stop wearing them. I honestly thought this was just another lifetime sentence that women had to go through, wearing these stupid contraptions every day the rest of their lives, like bras and makeup and other womanly things. When I finished the contents of the box in about 2 weeks' time, I dutifully added Kotex sanitary napkins to the running grocery list my mother kept on the fridge. She came raging to me, wanting to know how I had already gone through one box. When I explained I thought I had to wear them forever, she actually laughed at me. All I can say is, good parenting, Mom. It was just a few months after that episode that I had the maturation assembly in my school. Well, that explained a lot of things. And again, my curiosity was satisfied for the most part. Throughout my teen years, I learned a little bit here and there about the facts of life from friends and from books and from some stolen Playboy magazines my friend Shirley got from under her father's mattress. Again, my curiosity was satisfied, and I didn't really need or want to know more. When I got married at age 19, I was pretty naive and obviously inexperienced. I had a very patient and understanding husband. He later turned into a real jerk, who was more than willing to educate me sexually. He also thought it would be a good idea for me to read the book, The Happy Hooker, which I willingly did. Boy, there was a lot to be learned from that book. We went on to have a healthy, loving, active sex life for 12 years before he turned. I was fortunate that he was kind when he was kind. When I went on to have my own children, I swore that I'd be better than my mother had been at teaching me the facts of life. However, that was one of the hardest and the most uncomfortable things I've ever had to do, even though I was a modern, liberated woman. Therefore now, I can completely understand and forgive my mother for her abominable behavior in that matter.
Great.
How nice to see everybody, and thank you for the readings. These have been so good. And I'm just going to follow straight from Jan and give you some more facts of life. Because why not? Uncensored. Worst. The worst thing about having breasts is the pain of keeping them contained, keeping them tamed by an endless assortment of feminine products invented and advertised mostly by men to convince women to buy their particular products at particular times in our lives. A nursing bra, for instance. Nursing bras are made to bolster heavy, painful breasts with double-wide straps and triple-wide cups and padded inserts for the gush of milk that lets down and escapes when the baby cries or when there's a suggestion of sex or suckling or romance or empathy or embarrassment. It's a flash flood, so the nursing bra is a boon. I nursed only my third and final baby. I was 23 and I couldn't stand it. Neither could she. We quit after 3 months. Nursing bras were so expensive in 1974 that I almost had to take out a loan to get one. I remember the nursing bra I purchased was cumbersome. I remember it was stained with my milk and the baby's spit up. I remember it was ugly from the start. I remember feeling relieved to throw that nursing bra in the trash. Bras are supposed to be pretty. That's what I thought when I was a young mom. That bra, the bra that was popular in the early 1970s, though, was meant to make women look trussed up. That bra, advertised on TV and in magazines, was the Playtex Crush Your Heart bra. I'm getting a response. People are repeating it with me. Yes, the Playtex 18-hour Cross Your Heart bra had crisscross straps and big, roomy, pointy coverall cups that lift and separate. Cups that lift and separate what, though? Breasts. Censored. Advertisers knew, we knew the word. They never said. I wanted one of those big white bras because of advertising, because of the catchy crush your heart phrasing. I'd grown up with advertising. Advertising made me want. In 1962, when I was 11, I wanted a training bra. Training bras were cute cut-off tank tops with built-in cup shapes. They came only in white, but when white is the only color, you don't realize other colors are possible. I didn't question. Teen magazines made me need a training bra. Training bras had padding for the painful marbles of my budding breasts. Too shy to tell my body-shy mother I needed a training bra, I opened a magazine to a training bra advertisement and placed it on her vanity with the ad circled in red ink by me with my dad's pen that he used for underlining Bible scriptures. It took a long time for Mother to act on that ad suggestion. I remember going on a discreet shopping trip with her in which we were both embarrassed and I got a not-so-cute white training bra. In the mid-70s, when bras got pretty and sexy and colorful, young women burned their bras in acts of defiant feminism. I didn't join in. I had lusted after a pretty set of matching bra and panties for years, and I wasn't about to give them up. Mother didn't join either. In fact, she had never worn a bra in her life. She was petite and slender and modest, and she wore loose-fitting blouses and dresses over her cherished Mormon temple garments. But when bra burning made it on the nightly news, Mother started wearing a bra. She was 65. When I had the means, married with 2 incomes, I bought underwire bras that pushed everything up with the slenderest of bands and hooks and straps, so I could wear the skimpiest blouses and sundresses and look sexy all the time. Underwire bras pinched and squeezed and had one other major fault. The wires sometimes escaped their stays and ended up in the washing machine drum, screeching like banshees in the spin cycle, requiring an expensive call to have a repair guy come out and pull the culprit from the works. And there was another expensive repair for the bras of married life. My husband was having too many affairs, so I tried to be more sexy and enticing. I found some lacy nipple cutout bras to go along with edible panties, but that porn stage of marriage made me uncomfortable. It didn't last long. The marketers of the underwire bra, however, had me hooked for 50 years. I wore those painful, confining, rib-pinching things until this summer, when I saw a rack of soft, short tank tops advertised as underwear. I haven't worn a bra since. I'm free, I'm compressed, I'm not compressed, I'm not trussed, and I don't have to burn anything.
Sorry, your story was too exciting for the microphone.
I know, melted it.
You overwhelmed it. All right, it happens sometimes, you know? Okay, our next 3 readers are Shannon Ballum, Tim Keller, and, ooh, this is the deep magic. This is in real cursive. I'm going to go ahead and take a wild guess at Elaine, perhaps? Anyway, okay, yes.
All right. Yay, Sharon.
Yes.
Great job, every reader has gone. So, my first poem is called The Stroke, and I had a stroke 3 years ago in January. So this is called The Stroke. The stroke is a queen draped in a crimson silk robe embossed with gold thread. She rules me like a kingdom with emerald velvet pastures and sapphire slithering rivers. I lay myself down at her feet. And this one's called Surrender. I lie back into the gold arms of the stroke, my God. Peace seeps starlight into my eyes. And this one's called 3 Years into the Stroke. I stand in an open field. Golden grasses ripple around me. I'm waiting for something. I see it coming from a long way off. It's small at first, just a black speck bouncing in vast blue distance. When it gets closer, I see it's my life. It gallops toward me, black mane flapping, dust plumes where its hooves thunder the ground. It gets closer and closer, racing toward me, muscles roiling under its shiny ebony hide. I have one chance to get back on. When my life is right by my side, I'm ready. I brace myself and grasp her glossy mane, swing onto her muscular back, hug her musky body between my thighs. I am blinded by wind and tears. and this last one is called The Present. The Present. After the knock, I swing open the front door, and there on the black mat is a present wrapped in red glossy paper, a white ribbed ribbon curlicued, a white satin bow right in the center. I shake it around. It feels so light. I bang it on the table, a tired hush of air inside. Maybe it is empty. Maybe someone played a cruel joke, thinking it would be funny, no, hilarious, to see the disappointment on my face. Vicious, I tear the paper. It heaps beside my feet. I open it and expect to see nothing but the blank white bottom of an ordinary box, but it is filled with this day right now, on the patio. Pansies, purple and yellow faces with pouty lips and bronze pots, the starling that alights on the tip-top of the neighbor's peaked roof, black silhouette, it's still there and still, and the peach clouds low down in the north, bright silver with gray, soft gray scalloping their tops. The air is soft and warm. There is no wind. And just now an oriole flashes by, yellow and black, rippling and crackling through this day, this, this.
Joseph, you turn that off. Sure.
Wow. Okay, our final readers will be Erin, Denise, and Katie.
Okay, I have 3 poems to read today. One is about myself, and the other 2 were written to my mother. So, this first one is called When I Was Young and Tired. When I was young and tired, I thought about smoking for no other reason than why not? I smelled it off my skin and braved the burning bubble. I'd take another drag. I didn't like the taste, nor the smell, nor the feeling, nor the implications, but what do I care? Maybe if I tried to be a little worse, it wouldn't feel so bad to be just okay. My hands hurt more than ever, my body deteriorates before still young eyes. But it's just to have something to point at. That's why my hands hurt. That's why my voice lacks. That's why my eyes leak. Because of when I was young and tired. Both of these poems I wrote for my mom for Mother's Day. But this one is untitled, so it goes. Here and there and back again, follow the river home. Guide my hand and fresh-tipped pen through words' inherent flow. Just outside the old front door, a tissue waves goodbye. Tears join in the heart's downpour, the happiest, saddest cry. Though I fear to leave the den, you raised me strong and true. Here and there and back again, my love will flow to you. This final poem I wrote after reading a journal that my mother wrote when she was visiting Germany as a 16-year-old. And I am still the only person in my family who has taken the time to read it. To Annette, whose name was lost to mother. I heard a voice I can only pretend to know. I heard my mother before I knew her, before she knew me, before she knew where this world would take her. I heard a promise to go back, from a 16-year-old pen to a 19-year-old wife to a 26-year-old mother. Ask what else she is, ask what she has been. I fear even after you do, the number of times she was welcomed to answer can fit in one hand. The same hand her children each let go, leaving you alone to be the only audience to your own movie. I think I could ask, and only now find, she never made it out of wife, of mother, in the silence. Who will ask her if she remembers making that promise? who will ask her if she still hurts from names only she will recognize. I'm sorry that I never asked and that I let go of your hand.
Thanks everyone for the great readings, and what a nice turnout. I've been playing around mostly with prose poems lately, and so I have 3 poems for you. This one is for Allie Harris, who is my guitar teacher. Playing through. There are 2 things to remember, her teacher said, when you were learning to play guitar. You practice with careful attention to develop skill. Then you let go and play through, regardless of mistakes. Play for the sheer joy of the music. Week by week, the left fingers do their yoga, stretching and arranging themselves into new shapes, building calluses to manage the strings. The right hand and arm follow the count, learning the rhythm to manage the timing. Over and over, they stop and start. Play, correct, playing through frustration, playing through self-criticism. Until the heart sighs and says, enough! Holding the guitar like a dear friend, she plays. Her hesitant voice rises, joining the music as it fills the room. She plays her way through the bumbling, through the mistakes, through the judgment. She plays her way through the whole song. The memory of the chords linger in her fingers. The smile on her face remains all day. This is called The Mirror. And these next 2 poems are haikus. I'm kind of learning about form since I'm not a formally educated writer. And a haiku is where there's a prose, and then there's like a little short part that's like a haiku at the end. That's sort of like a reflection of the larger prose part. The Mirror. It started with the arrival of one skinny man and his bicycle. He sat on the concrete base of the exit sign to the grocery store parking lot. His tattered bag of belongings within reach, the battered sign leaning against the bike tires. I looked away as I drove out, his image in the rearview mirror. Within a few weeks, there were 2 others sitting with him, making themselves at home in the cold. Each time, I drove as far forward as I could, pulling past them to pause for traffic opening. Each time I saw in my side mirror their faces looking to catch my eye. I looked down, I looked left, I looked everywhere but there. As I drove away, Shane sat in the passenger seat. Didn't recognize who was driving. Yesterday, that driver bought 3 coffees with cream and 6 different donuts. She carried them to the car, placing them on the passenger seat. She drove towards the exit, parking off to the right. Heads lifted from hunched bodies, their eyes watching. The skinny man stood and met her halfway, taking the outstretched packages in his gloved hands. Thank you, he said, as he met her gaze. Have a blessed day. You too, she replied. Have a wonderful day. Noticing that his eyes were as blue as the sky. Through kindness, you will find yourself shining in another's eye. This is called Benediction. The big truck stops at a safe distance as a woman Benediction. The big truck stops at a safe distance as a woman pushes the stroller through the crosswalk, a toddler holding on to the hem of her skirt trailing behind. The driver in the red ball cap leans out the window and waves as they pass. The toddler waves back. A high-heeled woman emerges from the cafe carrying 2 cups in a paper bag. She walks up the sidewalk, stopping at the corner. Bending slightly, she pauses beside the shaggy youth sitting on the pavement. She touches his shoulder and nods. He lifts his face and hands to receive the offering. A battered car pulls up to the curb in front of the protesters lining the roadside. Latino man in work clothes gets out from the passenger side, walking around to the back of the car. He opens the trunk and pulls out 2 cases of bottled water. He sets them on the curb and smiles. Gratitude ripples down the line as they drive off, horn honking. Invoke grace. There are many ways to bless each other. Thank you.
Oh, it's gonna be that fast.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Logan? Hello, my name is Katie Robinson. The epistolary beginning of Frankenstein. The stars are frozen, no sun above the ocean. My ship broken, my path chosen. This one is called Dickinson. The tears spread into her skin like ink absorbed into paper. Loneliness is freedom. The sun set into a cloudscape resembling graven marble. The language of storms, the weight of breath. Simplicity is the highest form of complexity. How do I let good things fall into place like shades? This one is called Prometheus. The gods are real, but who gives you father? Who gives you fire? Father and son, death and romance, pain, suffering in the broken order, dust and ashes, and less immortal, for I am man. Prayers. Forward and backward my thoughts, harbinger of doom, my eyes flashed a swift thought, I knew the future. A strong imagination imagines the truth. You can call it the effect of leading us out. Consume me, sacrificial flesh bruised, atop this earthen altar. I love you. I should have seen that coming. Initial conditions of the attractor. Molten fresh from the workshop, a gift of any kind, the red earth pigment and ivory black, trading paint, hope and fear, they're both the same inside. If my destiny is greater than my happiness, so be it. Empire ruin, systems breaking down, toil and peace, justice and misery. The sheen of the bold sun, who will get back the sun for us? The messenger of hope like spring. A repurposed eagle brought my remains, consumes me, my sacrificial flesh used upon this eternal altar. 2 stones helped by my sinew. What should I nourish? I love you. I should have seen this coming. It is about remembering fate is irreversible, and the key to prophecy is remembering real history is recent. It is about remembering, it's repeating itself, like his case. Do some sacrifices matter more than others? And moonlight. It touches my feet as I fall asleep, awake but not awake. What I missed does not exist. Don't fall in love with the moonlight. Then I have one longish one and then a short one, and then we'll bring us home. So this one is called Queen. It is about St. George and his queen. Did he love her? Did she love him? It will not fall from my eyes. It's about remembering notes on a breastplate. You are me. Dear me, egoless I am. Your law is written upon my sword to vanquish the ancient false god of suns. Ruler of realms, a part of 2 worlds. Nothing ever happens without separating or binding together. Exalted by their heart's keeper and God's power above them, each time he fell, he rose with the spirit of a volcano. The crying will stop. Martyrdom and commemorated by saints and followers of the various great faiths. They died for each other. They believed in something bigger than themselves. They believed in each other. I think it shows depth of feeling, looking at the fabric of interweaving multiple legends and stories on different various parchments and pages. A love unspoken, long concealed, shrouded, veiled, mystical, cloaked, clouded, and sequestered for the ages. Then we will end with Beatrice, about Dante's
of Dante's Divine Comedy Inferno, his Beatrice. I'll be getting over you my whole life like I lost my twin. I would follow you into darkness to ascend again and for the first time into the light. I wrote that one on May 17th of this year, but maybe I think I've been holding on to that one for a long time. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you everybody for coming. Let's hear a round of applause for our featured readers one more time. There you go. That's the applause you deserve from the beginning. All right, so there is no Helicon West in July because of Pioneer Day. So go do things. But we will miss you, and we'll cry a lot. Okay, so finally, if you are able, help stack chairs. If not, don't feel bad. We're really fast at it. Don't worry. And then come back in August and be safe and take care of each other. And anyway, yeah, just be safe. Okay, we love you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Naomi.
December.